Hear that wind? It's a cold day. I kind of underestimated how cold it really was. But that's okay. I think that means we'll have the whole woods to ourselves. Perfect. I need a proper fire, and quick. This is a great little hatchet. Love it. Love this thing. Sometimes I like to use the back of the spine to make this super fine fuzz. That'll light easily. Then the bigger curls will light and feed the fire. So I want to get the coffee on, but I didn't bring any water this time. I forgot. So snow it is. So now I have a little bit of water built up in the bottom. So I lowered the pot closer to the fire. And that's going to speed up the process now. It's a long process, melting snow. Wow, that fire sure feels good. So thanks for joining me again today. I know I have some new subscribers. I welcome you all to the channel. I hope you enjoy what you see. I hope you stay for a while. I want to thank Tom again from Cimbrer Bushcraft. I know some of the new subscribers come by way of Tom's suggestion. Tom, you're a great guy. I do appreciate the shout out you gave me. And for anybody who's not familiar with Cimbrer Bushcraft, I will definitely leave a link down below so you can visit Tom's YouTube channel and get to know him a little bit. So the reason why I came out today is I've been getting questions about my equipment, questions about how to maintain it. I've been asked to do sharpening videos, and I thought I'd save a sharpening video for an indoor video when it's really bad weather outdoors. And today I'm going to show you what I take in the field with me and how I maintain tools when I'm out in the woods. Now there's steel, wood, leather, canvas. These things all need to be maintained. Some of them are quite pricey. Some of them may have sentimental value to us. So it makes sense, makes good sense to look after them and to treat them with respect. So I'm going to show you what I use in the field to maintain my tools and how I do it. Okay, I managed to get enough water. Awesome. Coffee time. Just keep that to the side. There are a few sticks and leaves, but I'm sure it won't kill me. All right, let's get this coffee on. Okay, here's what I usually take out with me. I usually have an axe or a hatchet. This little Holtz Brooks hatchet is a beautiful little tool. It's a vintage head, and I just love it. Works very well, made in Sweden. And it's a fine tool and also has some sentimental value because a friend found the head for me. It was in very bad shape. I rehafted it. Okay, and another friend, maybe this mask, which is just gorgeous. So I want to maintain this tool. I want to keep it for the long term because it has sentimental value and it's also a very fine, useful tool. So I have leather, I have steel, and I have wood that needs to be maintained just on the axe. Knives as well, they require some maintenance. This one is carbon steel, okay? So the carbon steel can rust. That needs to be looked after. The edge needs to be maintained. And also the leather sheath needs to be maintained. The sheath is quite valuable. You want to maintain it. You want to keep it for many years. So to keep the edges of my tools in good shape, I bring these two items, the CC4 and the DC4, both from Falk & Even. The DC4 has a diamond coated side and a ceramic side. The diamond side is fairly coarse. This one is brand new. I dropped my other one and broke it. And the CC4 has a double coated ceramic. So that's fine, and that is super fine. So you can get a really great edge on your tools using just the Falk & Even CC4. So there's two items there. And I also bring a small field strop with me that's preloaded with stropping compound. So that's the final step in keeping the tools. Now, as I said, carbon steel can rust. This one has a nice patina on it, as you can see. So you need to stop the blade from rusting. You need to keep that edge nice. And this is a saber grind, easy to maintain, very strong. So just a few things that I use to maintain leather and steel. First of all, this beeswax, it's pure beeswax, and I cut it with 50% food grade mineral oil. That can go on your leather, it can go on the wood, it can also go on the steel to prevent rusting in a moist environment. There's that. I have this Fall Raven Greenland wax. I put this on my Fall Raven clothes to make them somewhat water resistant. You could actually use this on canvas as well. You could actually use this on steel to keep it from rusting if you wanted. It comes in a bar form. I tend to use it almost exclusively on my Fall Raven pants. But it's a good thing to use to maintain your pants. And when you wash them, this will get washed right out in hot water and in the dryer. So it needs to be reapplied at intervals. Now this here is a product called Snow Seal. And I use this mainly at home, but sometimes I take it out in the woods with me. This goes on my leather boots, my Danner boots at home. It goes on usually my axe masks and my knife sheaths. And it does a great job of waterproofing and conditioning. You don't want to do it too often. You want to do it as required. I noticed last time I was out, this axe mask seemed to be soaking up some water, so I thought it'd be a good idea to look after that today. And I have a little something to put in it today. Little Gibson's whiskey. Just a drop. Not the whole bottle. Little tip I learned from Tom. Oh, you're on the right track, buddy. That is delicious. Okay, back to the tools. So one of the questions I did get was regarding cookware, actually. And do I clean them when I'm out in the field? The answer to that is yes and no. Now, as far as the outside goes, this at one time was shiny and brand new. And if you let a patina develop from an open fire, it gets black, it gets shiny, it gets a coating on the outside. If you let that patina develop, actually not much soot will transfer from your pots into your backpack. Nevertheless, I do keep this in a bag. Once in a while, the patina and soot builds up a little too much. You will want to knock some of that off. But I don't feel there's a need to completely wash the outside of the pot every time you use it. It's unnecessary. That's just my opinion. Now, as far as the inside goes, yes, I do clean the inside. And I use one of these stainless steel scrubbies. They're flexible, they're porous, as you can see, and they're quite abrasive, so you can clean the inside of your pot, get it nice and clean. It's only good hygiene, isn't it? And this can just be rinsed out under water. All the food particles will wash away. You can hang it up to dry. It won't rust. It's stainless steel. So that's how I maintain my cookware when I'm out in the field. So let's talk about this axe, the little Holtzbrook axe. So I do maintain the steel often. That's a beautiful convex edge that I put on there. When I received this axe, it was broken. It was in bad shape. But as you can see, that's just a gorgeous convex edge. So that took a lot of file work. It took me a long time to get that edge the way I wanted it. So it makes sense to maintain it. So because it is in pretty good shape, I can just use the CC4. Okay, I'll start with the coarse side of the CC4, which is actually very fine. And I just bring it to the axe and work it in circles. There's actually no nicks in this edge right at the moment, so this won't take long. And as you're working the edge of a convex blade or an axe, you're kind of rolling the stone, moving it, okay? Because it is curved. That looks good. Let's move to the other side. And if you do this often, it only takes a few moments each time. I'm going to move to the super fine side. You can hear the difference for sure. Very nice. Doesn't require any water since it's ceramic. And every once in a while I scrub it up with a green scrub pad, clean it up. But water is not a bad idea, actually. Doesn't require water, but you can use water. I think that's probably looking really good. Feels sharp. This little strop I take to the head, just work it like this. Puts not a bad polish on the edge. When I'm out here, actually, I have to say my axe is my primary cutting tool. I use it for a lot of things. Sometimes I have my axe out more than my knife. Sometimes I have my saw out more than my axe. But when you're comfortable using an axe, it can be very useful. So the strop really refines that edge. It's a step that you really shouldn't skip. And really, this little strop doesn't weigh anything. It's perfect to take in the field with you. Okay, so there's the edge. The edge is back in shape. So let's look after the wood of this axe now. So as you can see, that's a nice edge. Beautiful convex edge. And it is very sharp. Okay, so the wood. So as you can see, this is the end grain. That's the end grain. End grain is what absorbs water. Okay, and before I put this metal wedge in, I soak this head in the handle in boiled linseed oil for 24 hours. So I know there's lots of linseed oil in the end grain of this. I also soak the butt in boiled linseed oil for 24 hours, and I have multiple coats on the handle. But in the winter, one thing I like to do is seal this up with a bit of beeswax. And here's how I do it. So what I'll do is warm the head of that up just a little bit. Just check it. I don't want it hot. I just want it slightly warm. That's just slightly warm now. That's perfect. That up just a little bit and melt it in. I'm going to put one more coat and just leave it. Okay? And it's not a bad idea to take some of that and apply it to the entire axe head. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Always work away from the sharp parts, guys. Don't be like me. I've made the mistake before. Now, actually, the entire handle can be coated with beeswax. It's something that I believe Grants Force Brooks do before they ship out an axe, is they coat the entire axe handle in beeswax. I generally don't. I boil linseed oil it, and there's a good protective coating on that. So now let's move on to the axe sheath. Now this axe sheath is a work of art, actually. It's gorgeous. Look at all the tooling in that mask. That's a bear claw. My friend Mike Prout made it for me. So I want you to go check out Mike Prout's YouTube channel. I'm going to link to his as well. Multi-talented guy. Brass rivets, really nice leather. So obviously this is something that I want to keep for a long, long time. So what I have to do with this now is warm the leather. So I just want to warm the leather slightly. Not a lot, just slightly. So it will accept the waterproof material. You can feel that getting a little bit warm now. That should be good. So on this, I'm going to use the snow seal. Just put a little bit of snow seal on the mask, work it in. Pay attention to the edges. Now that was heated up slightly so I can get the snow seal to start to flow a little bit. So now that's coated completely. I'm going to bring it back to the fire and warm it up. And what that's going to do is allow the snow seal, which is mostly beeswax. There is a bit of a petroleum product in there to help it get absorbed and to dry. And I'm going to put that next to the fire, get it to absorb. Hold it next to the fire. See, it's absorbing and drying already. See that? Keep going. Now this is easier at home with a hairdryer or a heat gun. You don't want to overheat this. If you're careful around a fire, you can do it. It's just about absorbed all the way. Isn't that gorgeous? A little bit more. That's looking really good. So that's all absorbed. And what you want to do is take a cloth, give it a buff. Never leave the house without a bandana. This is my Coulter Co. USA. No, you're not bandana. Now it needs a good wash, but it'll wash up beautifully. Okay, there's the axe mask. Perfectly treated. It looks better. The detail of the carving shows up better. And now it's more water resistant than it was. Okay, there's the axe, fully maintained in the field. The wood has been maintained. That end grain has been sealed up. No moisture can get in there. The steel has been coated with beeswax. It's not going to rust. That beautiful convex edge has been refined. It's wicked sharp. Okay, I also looked after this mask with snow seal. I want to keep this mask for a long time. So there you go. That's ready to go in the pack. It's ready for the next time I come out. Okay, on to the knife. So this is a LT Wright knife. It's a saber grind, as I mentioned before. I like a saber grind. Some people don't like to sharpen them, but once you practice, it's not a problem at all. So I know this knife is sharp. It probably doesn't even need a stone, to be quite honest. A little strop would be fine, but I'll show you how to use the CC4. So what you want to do is put the knife on the CC4, find the right angle, just so you don't see any light underneath the bevel, and slowly bring it to you. Now at home, I have water stones. Sometimes I touch edges up with wet dry sandpaper, depending on what I want to do. But this works great in the field. They're not terribly expensive. They're very light. They do a great job, actually. Now the stropping. Stropping is the same process. Find the right bevel, but this time you're dragging the knife edge away from you. Just like that. Okay. Most of the time, unless I'm dealing with a chip or a roll, I'm just stropping my blades. Okay. If you do these processes often, you only have to spend a couple minutes each time. And you're ready to go again. That's sharp. Okay. Not sure if... Okay, that's sharp. See the hair on there? That's sharp. With just a few simple tools in the field. Okay, so now I'm going to apply a little bit of beeswax to this blade. Carefully. So this is beeswax and food grade mineral oil. So if I need to use this knife for food prep, it's not going to hurt me at all. It's completely okay. Now that's ready to store. Especially for long-term storage, good idea to coat the blade. So is there anything worse than cold, wet hands? I don't know. So I take some snow seal, rub it into my leather gloves. Leather gloves are a must when you're working with sharp tools. Rub it into my gloves. Hold the gloves over the fire. Get it absorbed. You could hang them from the tripod as well, but this is fine. Now I may repeat this process several times. I probably have about 4 coats of snow seal on these gloves already, and they are fairly waterproof. But as you can see, it only takes less than a minute to reapply. It's a good idea. So what about this gorgeous Frost River pack? Well, it's 18-ounce wax canvas. The coating needs to be reapplied every so often. Frost River recommends a product called Martexin. I did this pack about 2 weeks ago, so I'm good to go. The leather, I use Snow Seal on, including the shoulder straps. And if I know it's raining or wet snow, why not keep the moisture off the pack altogether? I'll throw a pack cover over the entire pack, and that's even better. Keep the rain off it altogether. Well, that was a fun day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Take care of your tools. They'll take care of you, as they say. I'm losing my light. Looks like it's going to be a night hike out. That's okay. I'm ready for a night hike. I love walking in the woods at night. Thanks again. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Please comment. I really enjoy your comments and the interaction with you. And above all, get out in the woods. Have some fun. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.